hour on ESPN. Expecting a shakeup and Texas potentially making their way into the college football playoff. The Spurs, they came back to beat the Bulls in Chicago. 121-117 left by Victor Wembanyama's go-ahead three as he had 38 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks.
If you smoke, take it outside. Get the facts at don'tpassgas.org.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pledger. I appreciate you joining me however you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be locked in listening live at sasportstar.com, via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player, or if you're watching live on YouTube. That's right, we stream all of our shows live via YouTube. Just go there, search SA Sports Star. Go ahead and like, subscribe while you're there. You're able to come along with the show as it happens. Fred Records, Sam, already in the chat. You can also feel free to call in 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, always appreciate the dialogue. You're more than welcome. As always, a good time, and we've got a show for you today. Full hour as we get you ready for the college football playoff coming up as they get set to reveal their rankings. But one of the big things was the Spurs last night. They come back and Wemby with the dagger.
Wembanyama with the ball in his hands. He's got 33. Shot clock going down. Vucevic guarding. Wembanyama. How about that for some Chicago pizza?
Wemby, back-to-back threes to put the Spurs in front for good. They would close it out from there, and Wemby on those threes that closed things out.
The first one, definitely. I knew where the Spurs was going to. Second one, not really, but I quickly decided to because I felt like I could get separation, and felt like it would just make the situation more complicated if I went through the crowd. So I guess I chose right.
I would say he chose right. Earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, Rob and AJ bringing up now that they are 8-2 on the season to start things off. How good are the Spurs as we currently sit today?
We are now an eighth of the way through the season. I feel comfortable saying it.
We'll know more about ourselves in the next week because they're going to play some better teams. But last night was a good team. This is a team that's also going to be good this year, minus a player, but they were at home. A team that has had really good success against us. Vucevic has beaten us single-handedly. He got a 40-burger on us.
Yeah.
That was not the case last night.
And also, you showed some scrap, like coming from it. Like if I wouldn't have been mad if the Spurs had rolled over and died late in the fourth quarter. It looked like they were going to.
They were getting beat, and then there's no shame in losing to Chicago on the road. That's just early season, late season, even with a dude. But that wasn't the case last night. They played like we're better than you are, and it just took us a while to find the way to beat you, but we found the way.
It's hard to argue that this team is legit. I will say this two game set Wednesday, Friday against the Warriors. Rob and I are going to go on Wednesday. That's going to tell me a lot. Although I saw this, so the Warriors and Spurs have something in common. The only games they've lost have been away from home.
Yeah.
Both of them are undefeated at home, which is good news for the Spurs because they're playing both of them at home. So they get 2 games with the Warriors at home.
It's strange. It's
great, strange
the
scheduling
NBA has kind
thing.
of picked this up over the last couple of years to eliminate some road time that, you're showing up in San Antonio. We'll go back and forth real quick. I don't like it, but it is a good measuring stick for sure. I don't know Steph's. I don't know. Is Curry going to play?
Yeah, he was at the game he missed was with illness.
So I don't ankle issues. But
no, I think it was just. I think he had the Vic.
Now I opened with the premise that this is a very, very good basketball team, and they are. But there is a lingering concern that if it sticks around, it's very easy for this team, especially given that we got about a nine guy rotation right now. There's a lot of dudes playing.
Yeah.
They get sloppy on defense, and they're fully capable of making defensive plays, but they don't play defense on a string yet. They're still guys, they're not. They have the safety net of Wemby, and that's a pretty damn good safety net. You can make a lot of mistakes, and he can fix them, but they're not cohesive defensively yet. And you can, given
they only have like two good players defensively. Like,
and then you're going to have to be on a string now. You're going to have to play with the help of others to be a solid kind of thing. Now, we can play pretty good man-to-man when we roll out Steph Castle and Keldon. Those guys can play some pretty decent man-to-man, some physical defense. But for the most part, this is going to be a team defense thing, and because the ball's rarely going to get in the paint. You're going to have to charge to hit closeouts because not a lot of people heading to the paint to shoot over Wemby. So that's where the hustle comes, and that's a problem. When you're giving up 70 or 35 to 38 points a quarter, that's a worry. Now, the Spurs are going to play the possession game. We're going to have a lot of possessions when De'Aaron's playing. I mean, we're going to rip and run, and we're going to run fast and try to get to the lane. And there will be some turnovers just built into that style. But those kind of turnovers are the way you lose big games. And last night they beat a team that was minus their point guard. And with Chicago, we'll look back on a thing that they let get away. That was a win they should have had. And if they'd have had their dude, they feel like they're going to win. So when we play them again, they're not afraid of us. And what I want is these early season things, when you kick somebody's ass and they know we're going to play them again, and we better be ready because this is not who we thought. And I think most of the teams we've played, it's been that. Chicago can walk away going, yeah, you beat us, but I think if we were fully complimented, we'd give you a run for your money.
I think that's probably fair. But, dude, you're going to be without guys all the time.
Yeah.
And I know Josh Giddey's he's like their best player, arguably, and Dylan Harper's a rookie, but nobody's going to be fully healthy very often. Well, like I'm not going to feel too bad for you.
No, the thing about the Spurs, which we haven't even begun to talk on the negative stuff, the defense is going to be a problem because a lot of dudes. The positive thing is, how many teams can lose their rookie like Dylan Harper, who had started out so strong, and not even notice?
Right.
I mean, we haven't missed a beat, man.
The NBA.com has power rankings that they put out every week. And the week now, this came out yesterday morning before the game.
And I don't get the reticence to give them what they've done, the credit for what I've seen.
The number 10 team is the Timberwolves. Number 9 team is the Bucks. Number 8 is the Pistons, which they might be low as well.
You see him. You see, we'll talk about that.
Number 7 is the San Antonio Spurs.
It's a little low.
I get I
understand.
The thing that I was saying before yesterday was the teams they beat so far, besides the Rockets, are not good teams. But at least they're beating the snot out of them, which is I'll take it.
Well, the Rockets and then Chicago, that's pretty impressive.
I agree. They've got the Lakers at 6.
This is too high.
The Cavs at 5. The Knicks at 4. Please, Knicks. The Rockets at 3. The Nuggets at 2, and the Thunder at 1. I think you make a good argument that the Spurs are a top 5 team right now.
I don't see an argument to just tell me they're not.
In fact, the only team that I'll say with certainty is better than the Spurs on their best night is the Thunder.
It's the world champions.
Yeah,
we're all behind
I think
them.
the Spurs, if the Spurs are on their best night, go up against the Nuggets, I think the Spurs can hang. You know, I mean,
we're not quite there yet. But yeah, I think if we played 7 games, they'd win 2.
Yeah.
Right now, I think they could beat them twice. Now we'll see what happens over the next 3 or 4 months. They are, I think a lot of teams are going to be slow to recognize because Wemby is such an alien that you look at him and go, well, but for him, but this team plays quite well when he's sitting down, especially when Cornette's healthy. The second unit is a threat. They can add the leads. They give you something. This is a very, very good basketball team, about 6 months ahead of schedule in my eye. They are really solid. I don't know if we have any sound from last night, but after the post game, Mitch kept talking about how the way he wanted to define Wemby post game was very professional. The way he did it, he went at it in a very diligent, professional way. It wasn't about highlights or anything. It was like the things were done to precision, and it took that for that 10-point run for everybody to just do your job. It wasn't about a superstar thing, and I think that Mitch anyway took a lot away from how they came back. Not that they did come back, but there was the method in which they cut that 10-point run.
Yeah, I would say I'm more than pleased with what I've seen out of this team so far, because while I thought they were going to be much better than a year ago, they're ahead of schedule, and it's exciting. Like it's worth getting excited about, and it's been a long time, I think, since Spurs fans have had something to be excited about.
Yeah, and they're in a good spot. Have they beaten the cream of the crop in the Eastern and the Western conferences? No, but at the same time, they're beating who's in front of them, and that's all you can ask right now, because a year ago they weren't doing that, and they beat one of the few really good teams that they have played to this point in the Houston Rockets. Now, they faltered against the Lakers in LA, but road game against a good team that you expect to be near the top, you're not going to win them all. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. That was also a game without De'Aaron Fox. Of course, they were without LeBron James. So it's a marathon. It is not a sprint. It is 82 full games, and there's going to be ebbs and flows to the seasons. And we did this for years when the Spurs were great. You could start slow and figure things out and beat the teams you're supposed to and take some from the good teams, and then finally kind of put things together by the time you get to the rodeo road trip so that you can make that push once you get to the playoffs. It's not about being the 1 seed, although being a 1 seed is extremely nice. For this Spurs team, it's about being in 6 and up and avoiding the play-in and making sure you are a playoff team. And I think they're doing a very, very good job of that and handling things. They've had one game that I've been thoroughly disappointed in, and that was the Phoenix Suns game. Everything else has looked great. And this is a team that hasn't always looked great, regardless of competition in years past coming into this. And I think they're going into each and every game with the right mindset. And they're talking about it. Wemby's talking about confidence and growing that. And Castle's been talking about it. And Mitch Johnson is talking about their focus in games and the way that they start and finish them. As a matter of fact, Wemby talking about the 8-2 start, mentioning, hey, we know we haven't played the toughest schedule to this point.
I said we're where we want to be. Of course, we wish we'd won every single game, but in the long run, we're not going to go 82-0 for sure. So we gotta. And what I like is that we keep each other accountable. The coaching staff keeps us accountable. So I know we're only going to keep getting better. And I'm also realistic that we didn't play the best teams in the league yet, but we're getting better, and we're going to be ready when it's time to face them.
This will be determined as the season goes on, but I can tell you right now that I like what I see from this team as a whole, and the way it's playing, the way it's constructed, and just what we're getting. Now, is the floor spacing as good as I'd like it to be to this point? No, but there's holes on every team and every roster, including the Oklahoma City Thunder, who aren't shooting the best from behind the arc right now. That's what makes the NBA season a rigor. You got to survive 82 games and then a very, very brutal postseason with extended series. And the Spurs are going to find this out. And I'm excited to watch the growth of this team, because we are watching them grow right in front of our eyes as this season goes on. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger, right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 941 FM, sasportstar.com. When we come back, Dallas Cowboys, they have been through a lot on their bye week. between trades and the passing of Marshawn Nealon, there's been a lot to deal with. How do they refocus and get ready for the Raiders coming up on Monday night? Well, Clarence Hill of All City Dallas joined the Blitz a little bit earlier today. We'll play a portion of that interview when we come back here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dallas Cowboys fans, come on down.
It's AJ and Rob from the Morning Huddle, and you could be the next contestant on
The Stat Is Right.
Every week leading up to the week of the Cowboys home game, AJ and Rob toss out a Cowboys player and a stat from the upcoming home game. Passing yards, rushing yards, number of times Dak adjusts his wristband mid-play, or perhaps CeeDee Lamb mouthguard chews per quarter. Whatever. All you have to do is predict that stat, get the closest, and bam! You're headed to Jerry World with a pair of tickets to the next Cowboys home game. Think of it like The Price is Right, but instead of winning a blender, you get to scream, "How about them Cowboys?" inside AT&T Stadium. So study up, Cowboy Nation, and listen to the Morning Huddle to play. The Stat Is Right, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/radio to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
We are right in the thick of the NFL football season, and Underdog, the best place to get in on the action, baby. Playing on Underdog is so easy. You pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on their stats, rushing yards, passing yards, receptions, whatever. You get those picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. And quite frankly, the Cowboys have been a cash cow. You go higher on Dak's numbers, you go higher on CD's numbers, and you have been getting paid. You go lower on their defensive numbers, you're getting paid as well. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ALAMO, ALAMO. You'll score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code ALAMO. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Texas. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. If you're tired of pain slowing you down from a recent injury or something that's been nagging you for years, we can help. At Arasti, we've earned the trust of over 8,000 physicians by delivering fast, lasting pain relief without painkillers or surgery. Our hands-on approach targets the root cause of pain, and most patients see results in just one visit. No referral needed, and it's covered by most insurance plans. So don't wait. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti. We fix pain fast.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-888-5226. 800-888-5226. 800-888-5226.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Nigel, why is there a giant turkey standing on my desk?
That's Harold.
Well, then whisper these words, Nigel. Deep fried. From all of us at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we hope your Thanksgiving is filled with food, family, and fellowship. We couldn't ask for a better community to be a part of. So thank you and happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pleasure. You can follow me on all social media at I am Pleasure. Follow the station at SA Sports Star. Of course, you can watch the show live on YouTube, or feel free to call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Not a lot changing at the top of the college football playoff rankings. They are out, and Ohio State remain number one, followed by Indiana, Texas A&M third, Alabama fourth, Georgia rounds out the top five. Then you got Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon, Notre Dame. Texas jumps into the college football playoff at 10, followed by Oklahoma and BYU at 11 and 12, but they are the first two out because you got those automatic bids, one from the ACC, that being Miami, and the other being the Group of Five school, which at this current point is 24th ranked South Florida. And that's where we currently stand with the college football playoff as we head into the home stretch of the season with a lot of big, meaningful games that are likely going to shake up how we see of this. And, I'm looking at our YouTube comments, and going back to the Spurs segment, Speckled Truth saying he's absolutely loving this young team. Fred Villarreal says that he knows Wemby took control of the team after he saw Fox take control a few nights ago against New Orleans. Fred Casares says he loves that Wemby is starting to recognize the double and triple teams coming. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to see this team grow and evolve as the season goes on. Speckled Truth about that college football playoff. If Alabama loses, do you think they'll make the playoffs? I do. It depends who that loss is to, obviously, and how it is perceived. Do they lose by one, or are they trucked in a game? The problem about the college football playoff, the rankings and everything, perception matters in all of these things. How do you win? Is it pretty? Is it ugly? Is it a good loss? Is it a bad loss? These things matter when it comes to the ranking. And 4 is a long way to fall out of it. Now, can other teams get hot and potentially jump them moving forward? But you really got to look at all factors involved when you're talking about the college football playoff. The one thing with certainty I can say is the University of Texas can ill afford to lose a game. I don't see a 3-loss team getting in, and they've got a tough road ahead. When you talk about 5th-ranked Georgia and 3rd-ranked A&M and an Arkansas game in between them. And even if you get through that stretch, you've still got an SEC championship game to play against where you could be playing an Alabama or an A&M again or an Ole Miss or a Georgia. That is a tough road to hoe on the way out because you dropped that game to Florida early in the year, because you lost your opener to Ohio State earlier in the year. You've left yourself a narrow margin for error going down the stretch. The good news is that might be the best game we saw Arch Manning play against Vanderbilt the other week. Could they be getting hot at the right time? Could they be figuring things out? Could the offensive line and the way they're going put together? Michael Taft is coming back, and the defense looked great for 3.5 quarters against Vanderbilt. Then they let their foot off their throat. And it's one of the things I hate about the mantra that people, including the University of Texas and Sarkisian, all gas, no brakes. Because there's always breaks on a team. I don't care what anyone says. That mantra is very difficult to live up to. Because you do take your foot off the gas at some point. You do slow. Like, you could be roundhousing a team. At some point, you start calling a bunch of run plays because you're trying to run the clock out. At some point, you quit blitzing and you start playing coverage. And that's the brakes. You hit the brakes at some point during football games. And sometimes that comes back to bite you in the ass. Because nobody lives up to the all gas, no brakes mantra. So I hate the fact that it is used in a lot of instances. And I really hate the fact that Steve Sarkisian trumpeted it a year or two ago, because it's obvious to see when they do put their foot on the brake. But the college football playoff, as we currently stand, and the one question I have, because you're looking at teams like 11th ranked Oklahoma and 12th ranked BYU, are we okay with an ACC champ getting an automatic bid, with a group of 5 team getting an automatic bid? Although I do believe South Florida can hang with these teams, and it proved it earlier this year by knocking off these other teams. Or do you think it should just strictly be the top 12 to where we get the best matchups? Or do we like that Cinderella aspect? Do we like the fact that Boise State got in last year? What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 as we continue here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. The Cowboys had a rough week. It's bye week, supposed to be a week of recovery, to get away, to put things out of your mind, and to get ready for the second half of your season. But the Cowboys instead, they had the ups and the downs with the trade deadline and the additions of Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson, and loading up for a potential stretch run, followed by the immediate crash of what happened with Marshawn Nealon and the tragic passing. How are they dealing with that? And what's the final road on the way out look like for the Dallas Cowboys? Clarence Hill of All City Dallas joined Joe earlier today on the Blitz. We will play you some of that as we come back here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, Monday night at 7:15 p.m. After a bye week, the Cowboys are center stage on Monday Night Football for the second time this month. This time in Sin City, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Pre-game at 6. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the Davis Law Firm, Hornitos Tequila, Connecticut, and Jim Beam. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You know, I make decisions every day, but the easiest ones I've been making for the last several weeks are Dak Prescott. The more Dak is riding the wave, and I've been with him on Prize Picks, and being right can get you paid, especially when you're doing it on the weekly. Prize Picks has everything you need to have some fun on all your favorite games. If you like winning, you like to know what you're doing, Prize Picks is your answer because you can do the research and you can go out and win. And it's so simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players, and you can get up to 2,000x on your money if you pick right. Now, they offer stacks is what I love. You can pick the same player in up to 3 different venues and play them in the same lineup. And you can only find this at Prize Picks. That's why I go there every day. You want to know another reason? Alamo. Remember the code Alamo and you get $50 in lineups if you play your first $5 lineup. That's Alamo. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 in lineups. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hola, mi esposo se lastimó en un accidente ayer. ¿Me puede ayudar?
Claro que sí. Estamos aquí para servirle.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7. Our team of Texas attorneys has been helping people injured in car, truck, or 18-wheeler wrecks for more than 25 years. And there's no fee unless we win. Y hablamos español. If you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program may only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it could end your debt nightmare and save you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for. So don't wait. For this free information, call 800-422-8552. 800-422-8552. That's 800-422-8552. Not available in all states. Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday morning at 11, the Aggies take on the South Carolina Gamecocks. Presented by Just Spots. Pre-game at 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm James Pledger. Appreciate y'all joining me here on Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm going to take you up till 7 o'clock. Earlier today on the Blitz, Joe Rangel was joined by Clarence Hill of All City Dallas. As the Cowboys have had a very, very, very up and down week in terms of emotions. How do they get all those in check as they get set for a game on Monday Night Football in Vegas against the Raiders, and what will be the start to a very pivotal part of their season, as they have very, very small wiggle room for error on the back half of their schedule.
Clarence Hill from All City Dallas joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. All right, now to the tragic news. Obviously, I can't even imagine what's going on with the Cowboys. Obviously, they had an off week, a bye week this week, and the players just have to be devastated, Clarence. I don't even know how else to say it.
Now they're devastated. I mean, you have a season that it is, you're 3-5-1, nothing is going right, and then something like this happens on your bye week, and so nobody, you're looking to go to bye week to get away and recharge, and this happens, so you really didn't have a good bye week. You really couldn't get away and recharge, and it's just tragic because this was a really nice young man, a guy who on paper you think, had done it all. He came from a small school. This was not supposed to be his life. He gets drafted by the Cowboys in the second round and given 94, and the great number that's worn by Hall of Famers DeMarcus Ware and Charles Haley, and you score your touchdown on Monday Night Football, and you don't really know the demons that he's dealing with. And clearly his mom passed away right before the draft, and as a 24-year-old, I mean, that's tough, and having to carry on without your mom. I know at 60, I lost my mom and dad a couple of years ago, and I know it's tough moving on and living life without my parents. And I'm the elders now, and I got kids, and it's still tough. So I couldn't even imagine what he's going through. But that just tells you, to me, the insidiousness, the thing that you really don't know about mental health and depression and what's going on. Because if there's ever a locker room that you think could handle it, or you could reach out and lean on somebody, you think of the Cowboys locker room with Dak Prescott, Solomon Thomas, guys who have programs, who have charities geared toward mental health, because they've had family members who have died by suicide, and so it's near and dear to them, and they have platforms. And you would think of somebody, the Cowboys, you could think you go to your defensive line mate like Solomon Thomas, or your quarterback who's in there openly talking about it, is allowing himself to be vulnerable, talking about these things, and you can't even talk to them. And that just tells you, when you're depressed in your own mind, how tough it is. And so there's, obviously you want to reach out, and you want to continue to help people to reach out, but it's tough. And that's why this team is, coming back this week, and you see the locker and they're still there, and the people that were sitting next to them in team meetings and stuff like that, they still have a lot to process going into this week.
Yeah, Clarence, and it's really unimportant in the scheme of things, but they've got a football game to play on Monday night, and you just wonder, and I know you'll be around those guys as they start to prepare for this game against the Raiders on Monday. But just that's got to be difficult in itself, I would think, to get up for a football game. And I'm not sure how the Cowboys will react to this. I see one way that they'll be motivated. They'll want to win one for Marshawn. The other thing, maybe they're still a little bit down and can't really concentrate fully on football. It's going to be interesting to see this week how they process this and handle it, getting ready for that game.
Yeah, I mean, you got so much going on. You had the trade last week, and they were trying to make resurge and make a resurgence after the bye, and now so you're feeling good about, maybe they can turn things around, maybe they can get on the run, maybe, and I know the Cowboys are hoping, just talking to Steven and them, things they said on the radio this week about rallying around Marshawn and rallying around the memory of Marshawn to get on the roll, and we'll see. But, you never know until, they take the field Monday night and how they react after that. And it's one thing to do it for 1 week, but can you sustain it, because as following death, everybody's calling and showing support in the moments, but it's the weeks and days afterwards, after the funeral, that you really, have to deal with things and the reality of things and how all that plays out. So yeah, they have to move forward. They're going to try to move forward. It's a Monday night game, so they have an extra day, even after the bye, to process things. They had a meeting yesterday. They've had team meetings. Certainly, they had an emotional team meeting on yesterday. Where they won't talk to the media until Thursday, so they don't have to deal with us, so to speak, asking them questions about this. But yeah, it's something that we're going to continue to monitor for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Clarence Hill with All City Dallas joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And Clarence, yeah, I mean, you hear from Steven yesterday, Jerry today, and Jerry using words like devastating and I mean, just tragic. And I don't know how else you describe something like this when this happens, especially when you're around this young man the way you are. And look, you've talked to Marshawn obviously a lot more than I have, but every time I had the pleasure of interviewing him, he had a smile on his face. He seemed happy. And I just think that's where we get confused a little bit because they hide it so well.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's the point. We talk about depression, and you don't really know what someone's going through. And you would think, he was a guy who seemed like a kid that was full of life. And you really don't know the demons he's dealing with. This is really the second time I dealt with a Cowboy player losing his life in the middle of the season. Remember, we had Jerry Brown, who was, and he was really more of a practice squad player, but he was on the team out there. He died with a DUI accident at the hands of his own teammate, and that's a whole deal, whole nother situation you have to deal with and process as a team. And they did that during the season. I think it was back in 2012. This is different because it's suicide, right?
Yeah.
And that's just not that any death is understandable and it's going to be tough to get over. It's going to be tragic. But I think that when Steven and Jerry talk about how heartbreaking and tragic and devastating is because of how he died as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. When you look at this, and again, football is football, and the season will go on. Guys like Dak Prescott, the veterans in that room have to be really the one that people can lean on, that other guys can lean on to look for that hope and for that way to move on. And especially a guy like Dak Prescott who's experienced this. And I would assume a lot of guys are looking to him.
No doubt. I mean, again, he's a perfect leader, and he's always struck the right chords. He struck the right chords immediately afterwards. On a day he was actually getting his jersey retired and having a stadium named after him in his hometown of Houghton, Louisiana. I don't know if you've seen some of the clips, but he said the right things and talked to his Houghton High School football team about what seems big for one person to deal with is not big for a whole team to deal with. So share your stuff. Don't go through it by yourself. And certainly, I'm sure you're going to be sharing similar messages. You have to continue to share those messages of call somebody, talk to somebody, reach out, ask for help, all those things. And certainly, this Cowboys team led by Dak Prescott, led by, again, Solomon Thomas, who's at the same situation, certainly Brian Schottenheimer, they're going to be managing this team and getting this team right and ready to go. But yeah, Dak is a perfect leader for this. But even he can, acknowledge and said, you're allowed to feel how you feel because no one has any answers.
Absolutely not. It's a tragic situation. Clarence Hill with All City Dallas joining us here on the Blitz. And Clarence, you mentioned the trade that the Cowboys made before this tragedy, Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson. Jerry said today they're going to hit the ground running. They're going to play. What kind of difference do you think we can expect from these two guys?
Well, the defense is one of the worst in the league, one of the worst in franchise history. It can only go up, right? Having a competent linebacker, and that's what they've had. They've not had competent linebacker play. Kevin Murray, Jack Sanborn have been absolute busts. Guys they brought in for agency. They've been absolute disappointment. And Logan Wilson, which is only, ironic or seeming kind of funny that the Cowboys have the 31st worst defense and they go get help from a linebacker on the 32nd worst defense who's not even playing. He was benched, and so, but that's how bad the Cowboys need help at linebacker play. That's how bad the Cowboys need help at linebacker play. And he is going to be better, he should be better at linebacker, improving the linebacker core. Don't forget, they got the great Overshawn coming back. But with Logan Wilson and DeMarvin Overshawn, who Jerry and Steven say should hit the ground running, that's improved play in linebacker. Linebacker was awful up front. I made fun of Jerry because he tried to make Kenny Clark be, some Reggie White, Domicon Sue incarnate, to let everybody know they won the trade. We got that Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark's a good dude, very good dude, nice player. He's not a difference maker. And certainly he didn't help make that run defense better. And I've always said, to be a great defense, certainly a great 4-3 defense, you need a hoss in the middle. Well, Quinn Williams is a hoss. And Quinn Williams, at his age, everybody, don't trade the draft picks. You hope a draft pick turns into Quinn Williams. You already got that, okay? So go use that first round pick and get you a dude. Quinn Williams is a dude and young enough to still have an impact this year, next year, and in the future. So, yeah, Quinn Williams has played this year. They should have immediate impacts in helping his defense. You will see the defense do more 5-2 front, old school 5-2. You all know, remember we used to do that back in high school. 5-2 front to help stop the run. But you got Quinn Williams, you got Kenny Clark, and you got Odigizua in the middle of that defense. That's going to be hard. That should be hard to run against with Clowney and certainly a emerging and rising Donovan Ezeraku on the end. And so the defense should be better. They haven't really improved the back end, which has been a problem, but the defense should be better. And those guys should immediately, they're veterans. They've been playing this year. They should be able to come in and help immediately.
Well, Chill, I think that, talking about Williams specifically, that's what I was happy about with this trade, that he's a guy that they can build a defense with and moving forward. Maybe not so much this year. I don't know how it's going to impact the rest of the season this year. The schedule's about to get pretty tough, but it's something to look forward to as you head into training camp next year and maybe beyond. You've got a guy and a piece there that you can build around.
Yeah, and I would, far be it for me to do what fans wanted with Nico, but if you could have had Quinn Williams and Micah Parsons here, now you'd be cooking with grease here, man. Come on. You want, think about it is everybody mad about Micah, but you needed some great players around him. The goal is you don't get better by getting rid of your best players. You put other great players around them, and you could have had even the Kenny Clark with a Micah or Quinn Williams with a Micah, how much better his defense will be down the road. But yeah, Quinn Williams is a great foundational piece, a guy anchor that you can build around. Now you need to bring some guys around with him.
Clarence Hill with All City Dallas joining us here on the Blitz. And, Clarence, when you look at this season, it certainly has been, it's been horrible just watching this defense play. The offense has kind of sputtered the last couple of games, but before that, they were rolling. And I think, they've got the pieces there to continue to do that. If this defense could just be average, I think that the Cowboys have got some W's that they can get to finish the season.
Yeah, that's to me the bittersweet part of the trade. You got this trade, and you think it should help. If you hadn't lost to Arizona and Denver and even Carolina to keep yourself afloat, so the reinforcement could come and really help it, make it mean something. You can really legitimize Dak Prescott's great season and have something to play for, because the schedule is tough down the road. It's you got 8 games left, but it's already late early because you're 3-5-1 and you have no margin forever. You have to go 7-1 to get the 10-7-1 to have a chance to make the playoffs. Or 10-6, 10-7 is 18 games. Yeah, 17. I don't even know. 17 games. Yeah, 10-6-1 just to make the playoffs. You're not getting in the playoffs with 9 wins.
Which means
you're going to have to 6-2 just to get 9 wins.
Yeah, you're going to have to win most of them.
You are, and the road is not easy on the way out. When you look at the Dallas Cowboys schedule, We will look at that schedule and how tough of a road it is when we come back right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an Audience National contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com.
You know, the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching, fever, best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Remember, if you miss anything, you can go check it out at our audio vault, powered by A Best Bail Bonds at sasportstar.com, or just check it out on our YouTube page, rewind the show, and go find it. We've got it all there for you wherever you want to find it. Now, as the Cowboys stand right now, they currently sit at 3-5-1. Probably need to get to 9 or 10 wins to make the postseason this year. This is their closing schedule. While you have the Raiders, which feels like a win, but then again, so did the Cardinals. You have the Eagles after that, the Chiefs, the Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants to close things out. This is a very tough road, and you're going to have to get some upsets against whether it's the Lions, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and Chargers on the way out the door. That is 4 games that you are not likely to be favored to win, but still have to find a way to pull those games out, every single one of them on the way out to make the postseason. That is a very difficult task, but the additions of Quinnen Williams, getting DeMarvion Overshown back, finally having a Siobhan Ravel to be able to play in the secondary, Logan Wilson, a competent linebacker, as you heard Clarence Hill talking about, one of the biggest missteps that the Cowboys have had to this point is not having competent play out of their linebackers. You're now getting 2 with Overshown and Logan Wilson. These are things that can hopefully quickly turn around the performance of that defense. And with the way the offense has played through the first half of the season, just getting a little bit of help and a little bit of resistance out of the defense could go a long way. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. Remember, call your loved ones, check on them. You never know what people are going through in life, and this world is better with you in it. I am James Pleasure. We will see you tomorrow night right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. Don't forget, Mike Elko joins the Morning Huddle tomorrow morning. They start at 6, and then Jason returns as the Blitz gets you going with Bob Ballou and RJ Ochoa tomorrow afternoon at 2. Good night, everybody.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans